it falls to me to make the final presentation of the International Participant Meeting, and I really would like to start with an homage to all of you. In this slide you see these are the countries that are participating at this stage to EXPO Milano 2015. We really have an international, a universal, a world expo. And we are really grateful for you, and we are also expecting in the next few weeks additional important confirmations of additional participants to EXPO. So in this presentation I would like to run you through summing up what we have discussed in these 2 days and sort of looking at what we have to do working together in the future months. I will start recalling what the Secretary General of the BIE told to all of us in the wonderful setting of the Signaria, or the Venaria Reale out of Turin. He told us that we are in this all together. The success of the Expo is due only if we work together. And we have to collaborate, we have to march together. Then our CEO and Commissioner General told to all of you that actually we must run together. And this is what now we have to do in the next month. Me, myself, and the team of the country officers that you all will know are your coaches. We are your personal trainers. We are available for you to work together, provide you all the information, put you in the right conditions to have the biggest success in the project, and actually, in some instances, when it's needed, to push you in order to respect the timelines that we all have together. We have a final mile, quite a long mile, to work together, and as we have said, we have to run. And we are all here ready to run together. So let me tell you how we want to organize our work. First of all, we have always concentrated. What inspires us is the theme of the Expo. And on the theme of the Expo, we have built together these collaborations. You know, the theme of the Expo for us is everywhere. You have seen it in all the presentations in these 2 days. But the theme is in our hand. We really have to make this happen, to produce the success. And we have issued a theme guide recently, last year, that was presented, and let's see what is the result of these theme guides. You have presented to us 58 theme statements. Let me tell you that we are really enthusiastic. The theme statements that you have presented to us are really outstanding, and only from the titles that you see here, we really have received projects that indicate the really high level and quality of the participation projects that you are presenting to us. And we are continuing to receive these theme statements. We will see them also coming in the next few weeks and months. We believe these are our key steps. With these theme statements, you are declaring to us what you want to do, and we understand how we can help you to implement your project. This is an important stepping stone of our project. But as we know, the success of the theme comes not only from the participation countries that provide the essential content, but it's key also how we are working with international organizations. We have tried to design a new model, a different approach on the participation of international organizations. Key of them, obviously, is United Nations. We have proposed to the United Nations a novel model of collaboration that was accepted, and we are extremely happy for that. I would like to acknowledge the UN team that is here between us that works. We have a UN EXPO team that works in the FAO offices in Rome, with whom we are building really a very important relationship. The United Nations is acting since more than 1 year as our strategic advisor for the content, and this will develop in many important parts of the Expo site, starting from the main thematic pavilion, that is a Pavilion Zero of the Expo. We would like to replicate this kind of important collaboration also with other important international organizations. If we look at how the theme of the Expo drives our experience and the work that we're doing, we also working on the legacy. The legacy of the Expos, as you know, and that is what the BAE continuously tells to us is one of the key elements of the success. And we have been looking to the immaterial legacy of our Expo. We have launched a program that is called Feeding Knowledge Program that already engages in collaboration through an important technological platform, several countries in the European and Mediterranean areas, but through this technological platform that is already operational, that we have built, we will launch another important element of Expo Milano 2015. And these are the best practices. This is an element, a traditional element that we want really to take forward and strengthen of the Expo, an international competition to identify the best practices in the field of the theme of the Expo around the world. So these will be launched before the end of the year, this international call that will be managed through the technological platform of the Feeding Knowledge Program. At the end of this selection process, we will identify the 15 best practices, and together with our collaboration with United Nations, they will be presented in the Pavilion Zero, in the biggest thematic pavilion of the Expo. What we are asking to you is, once these competitions come out, please, you as countries, as participants, do help us. Do invite entities, authorities, NGOs, your civil society, all the different elements of your countries to actively participate to this call and work once again with us for the success of the Expo. Let us also see, we need to work on the theme of the Expo. That is the center of our project. But to do this, we have to realize the Expo, the infrastructure, the pavilions, the place where all this will take place, actually. So, once again, this is the message. You have heard it from everybody, starting from Commissioner Sala. We need to speed up the engagement process of the participation. Now, with this morning, we have 9 new participation contracts signed, and we welcome and we thank the commissioners that are here, and we are looking forward to sign many others before the end of the year. Please, we need to accelerate this, it is extremely important, and whoever has signed the contract, we need to start implementing very quickly and with urgency your participation project. So let's see. How can we work with the different categories of participants? That is what we do in my team in the Expo company. We have the countries, we have seen them, we have the international organizations, we have civil society, once again with the signature of new participation agreements today, we have confirmed how civil society is a key element for the success of our Expo, and we have also the corporate participants and corporate pavilions that are starting to take shape. So let's see now the situation for the pavilions. Through the 36 self-built pavilion participation contracts that we have signed, as you see here, we have now 36 of you that are placed in the Expo site, that we are working together on building your pavilion. And you have received your marching orders yesterday. We have the time, we have to respect the time, we have to work. And please, any one of you that feels that cannot respect these times, come sit with us, and we have to look exactly how we work through that and how we can save the time and achieve the final result. We have one thing that does not change in the Expo, and that is 1st of May 2015. That doesn't move. So we know that that doesn't move, and we have to work together to achieve that result. We are also under a negotiation for 15 additional lots of countries in the Expo site, and this takes us as a result that today 90% of the exhibition area of Expo Milano 2015 is booked, is assigned to countries. So we are now working intensively to fill the remaining 10%, but we are almost fully booked, as probably in all good airlines, probably you have to exceed also the 100%, but let's see what we have done. We have achieved 90% of the area assigned. We have issued a construction guide for you that is critical, it's a very important point. In the next few weeks, as Angelo Paris has presented to you, we will be issuing the Building Expo guide. That is extremely important. So how all the works on the site will be managed and how we have to work with you. As you have seen, 36 contracts, Actually, 5 of you have already submitted the preliminary design. I want to thank these countries today. This is a very important step. We need to accelerate that. I would like to mention these countries, they're Germany, Switzerland, Japan, the Principality of Monaco, and Israel. Thank you very much for your work, and we are looking for 6 of you have told us that this month you will give in the preliminary design, and as our CEO and Angelo told you, we're expecting all of you by the end of December to present the preliminary projects. So what's next? We are looking to receive your preliminary design submission. You have the construction and technology services guide. We have to work on that and implement them. We need to conclude also the technology layout of your pavilion, because that has to be part of the detailed design that you will also be submitting to us. As Angelo told you, by the end of February, we have then to send it to the authorities in Italy for the necessary authorization. We have been working very intensively on that. We have streamlined also with specific laws implemented by the Parliament of Italy the process, so it's an enormously reduced timeline of the process of authorization, but still the process is there. So you need that time to have all the necessary authorization. You have to tell us when you are starting the works. When do you plan to start the works? You have to tell us now, because that is fundamental for us and for Angelo and his team to organize the work on the site in order to welcome you. And we have also to work on the internal design and the finishing touches of your pavilion. So, as you see, we are full of things we have to do. Let me recap once again for you the timeline. This is a timeline that we are asking to you. You have to submit the preliminary design to us by the end of December. We are expecting the detailed design by the end of February. The first country that is submitting the preliminary design will do it at the end of this month. The detailed design at the end of the month. Others are coming also before the end of 2015. That is encouraging, it's important for us, but we need, once again, to speed up this process. We need also, as you know, time. We are giving us very short time, 1 month, to examine your detailed design, to respond to you, to adapt. And we have seen with the first countries that this, once you submitted preliminary design, the path to the detailed design is a path that we have to do together. Meeting, sitting down many times to agree what is the final shape at the end of all this process. And then we have to start the constructions, as you have seen. So this is the situation. We have 2 important for the countries that obviously are building their own pavilion. We have the whole set of work that we have to do in the constructions in the next weeks and months, and then we have to integrate all this with the technology layout, with all the activities. Just to recap with you, once we receive your preliminary design, we will then be working with all our technological partners that you have seen today in order to make a proposal to you regarding your technological setup and the services. All that has then to be, we have to agree, and agree things that have to be, mutually satisfying. We will lead the process. We are the organizer. We will interact with you and guarantee the success of what we are doing. And then with the detailed design, we will arrive at a final agreement on what is your design in your pavilion, and from there start the construction and start this new phase of the run, the marathon, I would say more, 100 meters run that we have together to do. So let me now turn to the other important and not least important, absolutely, part of the Expo for us, that is how do we work with all the countries that actually are the majorities of the countries that come to an Expo in exhibition areas that are built by the organizer and then offered and rented out to the countries. You know that we have formulated the cluster project. We see the cluster as a very important project. We are really, really happy over the response that we have had. This is the situation of the cluster. These are the participation contracts that we have signed, or the countries that have formally confirmed their participation on clusters. And as you see, I must warn you, the ones that still have to come, a few of the clusters are fully booked. So we are really happy that some of them now are completed, but this means that whoever of you has not made the choice, once again, you must run. Or, we will be very short of possibility and alternatives. You have seen that we have activated 8 of these clusters with working groups, meetings during last year and this year. I thank all of you that have participated. It has been really an astonishing experience for us. And we will activate the last of the clusters with the working group for the Island, Sea and Food cluster that will take place its first meeting in January next year. With that, we will have completed the picture of the 9 thematic clusters of Expo Milano 2015. So, clusters, what we have done and what we have achieved. As you see, already 38 participation contracts, but once again the message, we must accelerate the signature of the contracts, especially that if you do not do that, you risk not having the place in the cluster that you want. And we have finalized the design. I would like here to thank Matteo Gatto and his team. We have finalized working together with you the design of the clusters. We are now launching the tender for the construction of the clusters itself. 90% of the places in the clusters have been assigned to countries. So once again, 10% left only. And now we are starting to work with you on the internal layout. That is obviously very important. What we are looking for next, the submission of the theme statement is very important. We will start the construction works and we will start to collaborate with you. All these next tasks will take us to a very important meeting. So please sign it on your agenda. Countries participating to the cluster project will be called for a meeting that will take place outside Milan in the wonderful town of Bergamo, where we will have 2 or 3 days of meetings on how do we work together on the cluster, how do we implement this project. It's new, it's innovative, it's extremely attractive, but it can succeed only with your participation, with your full involvement in this kind of project. So you will be receiving in the next few weeks the official invitation to come in Bergamo and meet with us and continue our work. So the clusters are so important that you have a timeline also for the cluster. It's not only for the countries that have a self-built pavilion. We need a number of things for you. These are key. Without these things, we cannot guarantee your participation in the cluster. So we need to work with you to choose the layout of your pavilion. We expect you to set up a team in your country, with you as a commissioner that works on the implementation of this project. We are providing to participants with the cluster project independent and autonomous pavilions. So this is also something new. It's not only a space without a bigger pavilion, you have your own pavilion. This means responsibility, means challenges. We have to work together to make this work. We expect you, very quickly, if you haven't done that, to submit your theme statement. We will work with you, and we will illustrate that in January, on the internal layout of the cluster. And then we have to work together on the common area. That is one of the new elements of this solution of the cluster. So you have one pavilion for each country in the cluster, but we have also a common project. We have to share together this project, and it can succeed only with your active involvement and participation. So let me go also once again on the issue of international organizations. They are key for us and for the success of our project. Of the United Nations we have spoken before, but we have very key important international organizations that have already approved and formalized their participation. The European Union is one of them. I would like to acknowledge also the delegation of the European Union today here. We are working together intensively, and the next few months we will draw a project of participation that, starting from the Italian Cardo, the space of Italy where physically will be located the European Union, will spread through with a number of projects, exhibitions and different solutions throughout the Expo site. Once again, a key international organization that plays a fundamental role on the theme of the Expo, not only in Europe but internationally, that is joining the Expo and providing with us a wonderful platform. Then, no less important is CERN, a top scientific organization in Geneva that is joining and working with us on the key issue on the scientific aspects of the theme of the Expo. And more international organizations are joining, so we are enriching this important part of the project of Expo Milano 2015. And then we have civil society. Civil society is really a key participant of our Expo. You cannot speak about food and nutrition around the world without joining and working with civil society. I remember when we first met with the United Nations delegation, we were told by the United Nations exactly this. You have to work, obviously, with the United Nations, but civil society are the entities that implement most of the project, the cooperation and development projects on food and nutrition around the world. So we must have them in a very important way in our Expo. We have chosen the solution, the Cascina Triulza, an old, ancient farmstead that you have seen yesterday when we have visited the Expo site, that we are now completely renovating, restoring, revaluing. That is an important part in close collaboration with the town of Milan, and this will be one of the legacy of the Expo. It will remain after the Expo, and it will be, during the Expo, the headquarters, the exhibition area, the place where civil society will be, and will also spread throughout the Expo site. But we need to find a physical location. We will have around 10,000 square meters of event areas, exhibition areas, offices, places for all the different entities. What did we do with this project? We decided since the beginning that we cannot manage such a complex project. We should be looking to civil society to provide the expertise and the capabilities to manage, in collaboration with us, this project. We have launched a competition, an open international competition, and we have received an offer from a group of 36 of these important NGOs that have set together, have formed an alliance, and have made a proposal how to manage and organize all this part. This is very important, and once again, in close collaboration with the town of Milan, in the next few weeks, we will publicize exactly how this project, how it will be run, and as you see, we have important steps ahead. We have to close the contract, we have to develop a management committee, and we will officially present to the public and to civil society, both in Italy and in the world, how this, the way in which they will participate to the Expo is run and conceived. And then we have the corporate pavilions in the Expo. We have also on that launched an international competition. We have already signed an important contract with Vanke, a top Chinese company. We have 5 other pavilions under negotiation. We have received 3 theme statements, and we expect, as you see, by the end of the year to close 2 additional contracts, and others coming up at the beginning of next year. So also here, the same rules as for the official participants apply. We accept corporate pavilions only if there is a clear and strong theme statement behind the work and the presence of these international corporates. And we also here we are receiving really astonishing theme statements that indicate that the civil sector and, the private sector and the corporate have really an important contribution to make for the success and the content of Expo Milano 2015. So let's look also how we will continue, if I can have the next slide, how we will continue, and really I draw to close my presentation. I think you have already heard so many things in these 2 days. We have an intense work in front of us. We have to work together in this, and we need to receive the key information from you. I know that on this we can be really insistent and, encouraged by the BAE. We will continue to insist. You have to give us the information that we all need in order to advance this project. So we need to receive, I have written to all the commissioners, and we expect many have answered, not everybody have answered. So we need to receive the timelines of your project, especially up to the moment in which you will start the construction works. And this is important also, we expect to start at the end of this year, in December. As Commissioner Sala told you, you have seen the works on the site yesterday. We have around 30 of the lots that we are preparing in the site by December, ready to be assigned, to be handed over to you participants. We expect to organize in December a first ceremony of all those countries that are doing the self-built pavilions, that are ready, with a number of key technical steps already implemented, and do the first event and ceremony of handover of the lots. So that is an important step, and I encourage you to be ready. I will be writing to all the commissioners in the month of October to explain how all this works, what are the technical passages you need, but I expect a good number of you to be ready in December with Commissioner Sala to really have this important first handover ceremony. From that moment, even more, what the Secretary General B said, we are in together. You will enter the Expo site, and we will be working and building Expo 2015 together. I would like to end on an important note, and referring what Rossella Citerio said just before. communication is key to the success of the Expo. One of the key tools of communication are your pavilions, are the project of your pavilions. People want to know, people want to see. Some of these pavilions, I have started to see the project, are really astonishing. I congratulate you. So we need to receive your proposal because we want to implement also a timeline in collaboration with you of events in which we will be presenting to the public in Italy and the world your pavilions. 70% of the Expo site is the exhibition area of countries. So you produce the content of the Expo, and you have to help us to really use this as a powerful communication tool, collaborating together with you. We are starting in November. We have already some events agreed with the countries where we will start to unveil the design and the content and the experience of your pavilion. So we need to receive this project not only for the important element of working together to build and construct the pavilions, but also we need to showcase your pavilions of the world. That is the most convincing demonstration that the Expo is coming to attract the visitors and tell them, you know, that they really have to come and see this wonderful event. So let's work together. Welcome to Turin. I think we had a very fantastic experience, and we will continue to stay in contact with you in the next days. Thank you very much.